Thank you, everyone, for your presence and being able to attend today. And what we have for you as a group activity, Charlie will be able to share with us some speaking on unconditional presence. And then we'll open it up for introductions and sharing and let you guys know about what we have coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you.
Yes. So, hey everyone, I'm Charlie, and I am a spiritual guide and counselor. And I really oh my God, I really want to talk about unconditional presence because I feel that is definitely what's been showing up in my life. And I feel that this is something that we all get to practice in our own lives to have these deeper connections with ourselves and with others. This 3-day challenge is about peace, and peace is really, it's a grace, it's a relaxation, it's a acceptance of what is. And I feel unconditional presence is being present with what is, which ultimately leads you to that peace that we all desire and get to have. Let's talk about unconditional. Like, unconditional is being with what is without any conditions of it changing, of it getting better, but just really like a deep acceptance without any conditions. If you ever seen a baby, like when a baby is first born, you just automatically, you just be present with that baby, like without conditions. You don't expect the baby to, talk or walk. It just is, and you're just with it, because it's so precious and it just is. It's something that just comes through you. Just naturally be present with a baby when it's first born, and that's kind of what unconditional ties to. It's like just being present with something without any conditions of it leaving you. And that's the way we get to see like ourselves and our emotions and our feelings and our thoughts. But yeah, this unconditional presence, like really being present with yourself in a deep way with things that's coming up for you in your life. And it might feel, terrifying. It might feel insane. It might feel good being present with the good things and the good thoughts and the good feelings and sensations and really holding on to it. It's funny because like people can walk past me and say hi, and that's a very loving gesture. And for me, it's a practice of really holding on to that love, of that recognition from someone. And this has been very powerful for me, in reference to, like, for instance, I use a practical example recently with something that's came up for me. I realized that it was been like this resentment. If you guys know what resentment is, it's an emotional state where you just have, it's like a puddle of different emotions like anger, angst, heaviness. Is really a puddle of these emotional states, but ultimately it's resentment. And resentment is when you don't want to let go of something of your past, or you hold on to something from your past, like an anchor, like you have an anchor tied to your leg and you're just holding on, something's weighing you down. And I really had to take a night where I really sat down and really connected to my heart, and I let that feeling like just consume me like the pill, like just taking it in and letting it go where it wants to go, feeling the sensations, feeling the taste of it, like almost like you're having a sample and it's really tasting. When if you're at a sample, you really focus on the taste, like what it tastes like, because it's an introduction to something new. And like just having that sample of what this is and going deeper into it and seeing what it tastes like, I did that, and what came up for me was I didn't forgive myself. Like I was still holding on to this resentment for myself and feeling like a bad person if I like let this go. Like this, I was almost holding on to this as a way to feel good, like as a way to keep me small, keep me like anchored to my past, keep me in a state of victim. And if you know a victim, a victim is really like a powerlessness to your circumstances or something outside of you. And what I found was that I was holding on to being a victim as a way to be a good person. Because if you're a victim, there's always someone out there. They call it like a perpetrator, meaning that someone doing something to you. And if someone's doing something to you, that makes you a good person. So it was a way for me holding on to that. And when I really released that and I stepped into a space of empowerment and acceptance, and let the feeling just come through and let myself really experience it, like all of it, and just let it consume me in that deep way. I had clarity out there. I had truth. I had peace. I had understanding of myself, and that's what the power of unconditional presence offers you if you do it. Practicing this with others and a practical level, like when you see someone and you feel resistant, like you don't like the way they do things, or you just feel like you don't want to connect with that person, like just being present with that resistance unconditionally is valid, and being present with it without it automatically needing to change like that. Like, because we all, and it's just me too, I'm guilty. Like, we feel something or we feel resistance or something, and we just automatically get to focus on what's next. Oh, how can I get away from this? What can I do? We go to our coping, strategy. I want to listen to this music because I want to feel this boredom that's in my body, or I want to focus on something else because I don't want to hear these thoughts in my head that's making me feel crappy about myself. But this is you. This is your truth. It's something there for you to look at. Like, it's almost like if you had a thought that kept running in your head about, I hate my body, or just something really, really you don't like, and it's really angst and makes you feel, low or down, or you feel like negative. You get to really practice unconditional presence with that in a way where you just like take the pill. Like, if imagine that was a pill, that thought or that emotion that you just don't like, or that you're resisting or you're trying to get away from. And imagine, like, back to the vitamins, like it has something for you. It's you. It's a aspect of you. It's a truth of you. And I'm an advocate for unconditional presence because that's how you find your own truth. That's how you find yourself in these thoughts and these emotions and these sensations. And no matter how distasteful it may seem, it is ultimately going to lead you to your truth. And once you have that, you have clarity. Like, it's almost like you have an intuitive screen just come through you that helps you really know what's needed in your life, what's missing, what you really want, why you want the things you want. And this is love. And I'm a big advocate for unconditional presence, because once you really sink into that, like a pill, like a vitamin, like you just let it, go in, knowing that is something there for you, then you will have peace. It will bring you to such a peace within yourself and with others that you'll know what steps to take forward to get what you want, to have that positive focus or happiness or whatever you want in your life. I really want to leave you guys with a way to practice this in your lives. So what I recommend, like, if you guys can, when you wake up, you're in such a raw state, you're in such a open state, you have no thoughts, you're just awake. So when you're first awake, you can spend the first 5 minutes and just really feel what you're feeling in your body. Just really be present with yourself, like really, and like go into yourself, like, and there are certain words that really triggers this presence for yourself. And I'm going to tell you a few scripted affirmations that you can use in your life when you really want to open up to yourself in this way and invite unconditional presence. I'm ready to feel this feeling. Like, if you're feeling something and you don't know what's going on, if you just say to yourself, I'm ready to feel this feeling, it really opens up your emotions. Like, okay, here's what what it is, and it really allows you to go deeper into what you're experiencing. You don't have to know what it is. You can just really be present with the sensations, and that's one affirmation. Another affirmation is, I'm completely here with you now. Like that, I'm completely here with you now. That speaks volumes to yourself and to others. Like if you can even say that in your head when you're interacting with people. Like I'm talking to someone, having a regular conversation. I'm just gonna say I'm completely here with you now without any conditions. Like that is just affirming your presence, your unconditional presence to whoever you're speaking to yourself. Another statement you can say to yourself is, whatever I'm experiencing is valid for me. And it's valid for me. Valid is a very powerful word. Throughout our lives, we get so addicted to being right about something or being wrong about something. But when you validate something, it's validating that it's true based on your experience. That means that it doesn't matter if something is right or something's wrong or something shouldn't be happening or you feel like it should be happening. But if it's valid, it means that based on who you are and what you experience is valid for whatever it is to be coming up for you, or whatever thoughts you're thinking to be there. Like nothing is trying to hurt you. It's just trying to be felt and receive presence from you. Unconditional presence. Like that's what we all want. We all want unconditional love, and that comes from this unconditional presence that you affirm to yourself and to others. And that's those two. So I gave you affirmations. I gave you a practice you can do to really start off your day with, and really take this out and to your living life and practice it and see if it works for you. And if it does, then really, like step into it because it's so powerful. And I'm just speaking from my personal experience, and I want you guys to have a personal experience of unconditional presence. So I want you to go out and use these affirmations with others and with yourself, and really be with yourself in that way and see what comes up for you. See what truths come up for you. See what understanding comes up for you. Practice it with your people that you just hate being around. See what comes up for you then. See what kind of connections you make with others. See what love you experience in your life when you start doing this practice. And if it works, keep using it and keep practicing it. And I'm going to leave you with that.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Charlie, for sharing, giving us some practice around unconditional presence. So I know that we did a short introduction when we started, but I'd like to do one for the recording, and so be able to open up for discussion as well. So just being able to introduce ourselves, where you're from, what you do, and how this 3 days of increasing your peace has been for you, in experiencing the shares from others. And I guess I can call out who we can start with. And so if you don't mind, Jai, would you mind going first?
Hi, my name is Jael. My friends call me Jael, as it were. My birth name is Matthew. Feel free to call me either. Where am I from? Yeah, the heart of God. Beyond that, my body's from the Fort Lauderdale area, sort of, Miami, right around there. That's kind of where I do my thing, I suppose. And the thing that I do, it's interesting. It's pretty multifaceted. At the heart of it, I just kind of be myself and follow my heart, and I allow that to lead me to the experiences that are calling to me. But in a more functional term, I work with people one-on-one around intentional transformation. I also teach yoga. I make and sell intentional transformational jewelry. I'm working on a mythology and a few other projects that are pretty like exciting and amazing to me, but they're also way too much to say in 2 seconds. So, and beyond that, I seem to be a member of a community of people who are really dedicated to self-awareness, self-expression, vulnerability, and honesty. And luckily, Desiree is a part of that same community. So very blessed to be here. Thank you very much. And I look forward to meeting you, Michelle, because I've never met you outside of here. And you as well, Ashley, because I want to get to know you better. And seeing my brothers here shortly.
Beautiful. Jai, would you like to share how the experience has been for you and the other participants that have been sharing in the 3-day challenge, and how any of those insights or pieces have been for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's interesting. Like, I want to share like a quick story. So yesterday I'm walking home, and as I'm crossing over a bridge, there's a young lady who's rescuing a kitten. And I see her, and of course I'm like, can I help? Because it's a baby kitten. And she couldn't get him through the fence, so I climbed around to help her get him. And then as we're walking home, I was unconditionally present with her, as Charlie was saying. No thoughts, just witnessing like who she was and things like that. And I somehow naturally, the conversation led to, I care too much, and my heart beats very fast, and my mind runs a lot. So I'm trying to really practice peace and patience. And I realized in that moment that all of us are, all of us are really searching for that practice of peace and patience that really works for us. And this 3-day challenge has given me an opportunity to really witness the quality of peace that has been able to be cultivated through practice, and then getting to share around that and see all of the beautiful contributions that have happened. It's been really, really validating, to bring it back full circle, right? It really validated everything that I had to kind of believe in before I could experience it. And yeah.
Beautiful.
That.
Thank you, Jael, for sharing.
You're welcome, love.
So, Michelle, would you be okay with coming up next? Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Michelle Marie, and I am a retired firefighter paramedic. Now I am a health coach. I live in Weston, Broward County.
Beautiful. And would you like to share how the 3-day challenge has been for you experiencing some of these shares?
Okay. I wish I could, but this is my first time on the call.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. So the videos are available inside of the event, so you're able to go ahead and take a look at what has been shared. And that really is the intention, that everyone's on their own time frame. And so, yes, they could come live with us, but at the same time, it's still there for reference for them to go back and experience those pieces. And they're anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. So they're short, and they can be used daily. And there's a couple of challenges in there just to incorporate through the little pieces in the life, So some of us may be very experienced with practice at yoga, meditation levels, and really just little tidbits for those moments in between during the day where we maybe either used to checking in or not used to checking in, and the little different ways that we could do that, as well as things like just sound healing, to experience, or meditation to experience. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Ashley, let's have you come up next.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so now that we're recording this, my name is Ashley. I'm from Miami, Florida, but I currently live in Broward County, North Broward County, so I live in Coral Springs. And I'm a consulting astrologer. However, I'm not really sharing as much about that today, because I really am sharing, what we've been sharing in the this 3-day event is more related to the aspects of meditation and tea ceremony and how those two intimately tie together. So if you haven't seen the video, I would highly recommend it. And, you know, I do give some other recommendations and referrals there if you're interested and the idea of tea ceremony and meditation speaks to you. So this 3-day challenge, I haven't seen everyone's video, but I have seen, because there's been so many, but some of them that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the drumming one because of the suggestion of just to sing and dance and have fun to bring your sense of inner peace, because I think it's something that's very simple, and yet a lot of us might brush aside, myself included. That's something that I love doing. I love dancing, and you know, I go on a weekly basis to dance classes, but doing it just on my free time, something that I've always done, and yet more recently it's something that I have kind of forgotten about. And so just that suggestion in and of itself is like, yeah, it kind of makes me more aware that something that's been missing. It's like, you know, this playfulness and this lightheartedness, and I need a little bit more of that. I need to be, I think that would bring more peace in my own way. And also, Desiree, the walking meditation, which I've experienced before, but it's nice to see your view of walking through this park and just like reminding me, like, it would be nice, maybe I should do that again sometime soon, because as I'm sure most people relate, having busy schedules and always having something to do or feeling just drained because you've got so many different things pulling at your attention, carving different times out of your day, or just one, and kind of switching it up perhaps. So for me, often my time of peace would be tea, but I think it's good to have some kind of variety and to be conscious of that. So like the walking meditation is something you can take anywhere, which is really nice. And it doesn't necessarily have to be when you're walking. I assume when you're driving as well, being more mindful as well. And that's something that I could really use lately. So I don't like to always talk about this, but it is something that is very much part of my life right now. So Desiree knows that I'm pregnant and I'm expecting to have a baby in September. And so that pretty much consumes most of my attention, everything that, you know, the preparation and just all the experiences of that. It's very intense for me, at least. And so it's also very draining. And having some of these suggestions and some of these things, these practices that you guys have recommended for bringing or increasing your peace, I think they are really useful. Dancing, singing, having fun, just without any kind of schedule involved, just doing it, just to lighten up a bit, and, you know, a walking meditation, for example, as well. Jose, when I played your drumming video, my little one started kicking a lot. I was like, after I started playing it, he started kicking, and I thought that was very amusing. So thank you, both of you. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Ashley, for sharing. So, Jose, would you like to go next? Yes.
Oh, you muted me. Okay, cool. I'd love to. Thank you for everybody for being here. I love sharing this space with you. Desiree introduced me. My name is Jose. Last name is Pina. I'm a yoga instructor, Reiki practitioner, and sound healer. And I also do guided meditations at nursing home. I'm from South Florida, Miami area, a little north, Miramar. Originally born in Peru. And these last 3 days, other than the practices, actually beyond the practice, to be honest, for me, has been seeing how everything works out, because I originally didn't have a way to post the live videos. And I had to, like, you know, figure out whose camera I was going to borrow. So the first time I was going to actually use a friend's phone, and she ended up canceling last minute. So, you know, me freaking out, like, no, I gotta keep my peace. I ended up talking to my friend, well, the person who owns Synergy, who's also my friend, Chris, and he let me use his computer, and then I was able to do the sound healing. So it was even better than if I would have used my friend's phone. So just kind of knowing that if you keep your peace, things will always work out no matter what. So just really has been that experience myself has been very validating. Once again, using that word, and yeah, I'm very grateful for the walking practice that you shared, Desiree, and the breathing technique that you shared, Jael. Definitely things that we can incorporate in our daily life. And that's one of the most important things I think about increasing your peace is just taking one step at a time every day, applying what really works for you, and allowing that pattern to build up its own momentum and creating that peace for you naturally. To where now you've set the pattern in play, and now you can naturally see yourself incrementing in your practice, whether it's breathing, walking, meditating, yoga, whatever it might be. Just take that step each day, and you'll see that you'll be surely to be successful.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Jose. So Charlie, let's see if we can have you share.
Yeah, I can hear you guys fine. Wait.
Oh, beautiful. So we obviously have had some time with you this evening, and so if you would like to just move into sharing about how the last 3 days have been for you. And
Yeah, for sure. I checked out Jose's drumming, and like just the joy of allowing yourself to add joy to your life. You know, everyone's really busy, including myself. We have a lot going on, and not forgetting those moments to capture and to add like joy, whether it's playing music or singing a song, but really doing something that brings joy out of you and that gives you that sense of happiness and peace. That's what I got from that, and that's what was a powerful reminder for me in my life, because I'm so busy with all these projects and all these other commitments, that when you're up to a lot, when you're busy, when you have a lot of responsibilities and you're living, it's very important to balance that with joy. And that's what that reminded me too. It was a powerful reminder to capture joy in my life. Like, I can be in the car driving to work and I can listen to a song that I like and be present with that joy that song brings me, and capture that joy, and know that plant little moments in my day where I can just have joy and just be mindful of creating that joy and fun. So that was very powerful for me. And this 3-day challenge, like, so far, this has been it's been an advocate for me, like being able to just speak about unconditional presence, which is something that I'm like practicing in my life right now and continue to practice and go deeper into, and being able to share that and just be in the space of vision where we all can be at peace and love and joy in our lives and with each other, and co-creating that with everyone on the challenge, and having people be here and wanting to desire to have peace. I mean, it's just so peace, knowing that I'm not alone, and everyone wants this peace and love in their lives. So I'm really grateful for being able to share and being able to witness, parts of this 3-day challenge where it really gave me a powerful reminder and tools that I get to apply in my life and create peace.
beautiful. Thank you, Charlie, for sharing. Wow, thank you, everyone, for being here. And as you know, I'm Desiree, and I do facilitation of Qigong practice and Tao meditation, and I also help business owners and entrepreneurs bringing their visions into reality through consulting services. And this 3-day challenge for me has been just amazing, just to see the uniqueness of what everyone is bringing into space for everyone, and the responses that I've gotten behind the scenes, comments from people. And for me personally, the impact, I've watched all of the videos, and just again, that uniqueness of what everyone's bringing, and just seeing the different views. And it's interesting, one of the challenges that I presented for people to set the alarm time for themselves, and 10 a.m. time frame and 3 p.m. time frame, is something that I had done quite a while ago, and since then I have been very in tune to checking in with myself throughout the day. But I decided, well, if I'm, asking everyone else to do that same reminder in their phone, why don't I go ahead and do that as well, and, have fun with it again in my life. And I found it to be very interesting, the times where that reminder popped up for me, and what I was doing. And I was always very focused into something, and I was able to just stop and breathe and notice for a moment where I was in present time. And based on what had been shared up until that point, so day 1 or day 2, or even today, it caused me to think of the different things that people had brought to the table. So one of the ones that was really beautiful for me, Jose, was your singing bowls yesterday. It was just very joyful and peaceful feeling listening to them, and the different tones of them, and how sweet and just gentle that experience was. And I learned something completely new about the tea ceremony information that you shared, Ashley, on just that presence, and very intentional, very intentional with the way that you're approaching the space, and honoring and becoming one with the tea. That was like the piece that I picked up for me, because I can be intentional about eating something or drinking something, right? But actually becoming one with it, and that relationship is a new concept for me. And so it's just really different and beautiful. And Jai, the piece that you shared on the first day, in the middle of the day, was around really that relationship with peace. And it's there for you to have a relationship with it. And that brought me into different space with it as well, because just knowing the consistency of it being there and opening yourself up to it is a different viewpoint for me. I think that I previously look at peace as something to attain, something to look within for, but it just always being there in existence all the time is very comforting thought, and just opening myself up to the idea of it being supportive no matter when, right? It's just my choice to open up and have that relationship. And so it's been really beautiful for me to see these different unique viewpoints on increasing our peace, and little tidbits throughout the day, So I thank you all for participating in this beautiful sharing and receiving. And I know many of our participants have expressed comments and positive feedback, and even though they haven't been able to join us live, that they're going back to the videos and watching them on their own time. And that's ultimately the goal for me, and what I see the vision for us being able to give is that everyone is extremely busy with whatever it is that they're doing. you know, and it isn't always easy to meet in one place at one time very specifically. And being able to share this with others is it's just a sense of fulfillment for me. So I want to let everyone know that we're doing another one of these, but it's called something different. It's 3-day challenge. It's also free. And it's called Choosing to Be Free. And so we'll be diving into the mechanism of choice. And freedom is something that I think a lot of people are looking to have in their life on one level or another, whether it's personal freedom, whether it's freedom with your occupation, you know, or your relationships, and the different ways for us to choose to own and be self-empowered with freedom. And we'll be doing it in the same fashion. The sound bites, basically, to give a supportive atmosphere within those time frames that people can either join live or look back and view. And so that'll be happening in about 2 weeks. And the idea is that we would continue these monthly. So inviting different practitioners or speakers in so that we have a variety and get to know our existing presenters and team in a more intimate way, and people can see where we're coming from. And then each time we do one of these, we'll have the last evening as a way for us to share in person, so to say, through video, right, where we can see each other. And then I also want to let everyone know who will watch this, and obviously us who are present here, most of us already know, next month, on July 15th, we will be doing for local people here in Pompano a retreat that will be a deep dive. It's a 5-hour experience, and it's called Living the Dream. And it is purposely in place to assist the process of reclaiming your creative power and self-actualization. And there's pieces of information, exercises, and activities that we'll be doing throughout that day to really invoke the power within for those who are looking to really expand and have a relationship with themselves in a creative way where they can feel powerful to reignite or ignite further the creative capacity that we all have as humans. Our society tends to damper that a bit, keeping us focused in different directions, but we have that ability. And so once again, just letting you guys know about that. I'll post some information to the group to let everyone know that those things exist and where to find the links for them. And the retreat, that one is a paid piece, and the 3-day activities are free and will continue to be free so that we can get to know each other and create community and just be with each other. So I want to say thank you to everyone for joining. And we will see you hopefully in a couple of weeks for our next Choosing to Be Free 3-day experience. Namaste, everyone. Good evening.
Everyone, peace and love, love and light.
Hare Krishna.
Everyone.